jam! Hello again, and welcome to the Mana Pool.
Now with 1,000% more Brian to make up for last week.
Wait, we've got 10 Brians? Wait, no, we had 0 Brians. 1,000% more than 0 is...
Still 0.
Is that... yeah.
I know it's math.
Yeah, math isn't really my strong
But
suit,
it's 1,000% more. So is that an addition thing? Let's just say we have a baker's dozen of Brians now. Just to cover all our bases.
That sounds delicious.
So, yeah. Not yet. No one cares about you yet. We have to talk about the number of the episode. So this is the Mana Pool number 470. Look, that chokes me up. It's such a large number. There we go.
Been around for a long time.
Yeah. It'll be 10 years in November.
Yep.
Just like it'll be 10 years that Brian managed to blackmail Carrie into marrying him tomorrow. I mean, that she said that they got married completely legitimately.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Chewy. Hi.
I'm Brian. Hi.
He's Brian.
This is me interrupting Dirk. Yeah. Hi.
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greatest man alive, and more comes to the group saying, yo.
So you'll notice Mike is not with us. Mike had something going on tonight, but hopefully he will be joining us shortly.
I devoured him so I could talk more.
Did you at least drink his blood?
Mike's not a unicorn.
At least?
Wait, at least?
Well, that was supposed to get some of his soul.
I'm not sure where to go with that, you know? Well, if you're going to eat something, I certainly hope you at least drank their blood. No, I was actually saving it for my, dark rituals with the pentagrams and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm sure we'll talk about Dark Ritual, next time we finish up the Banhammer episodes.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Let's just ban everything else.
So, yes.
A side note, I made the mistake of going on the message board to see how people were reacting to the change to the Caverns Below. And wow, just so many people that are like, well, this is the only fun deck. This is the only skill-intensive deck. And they've given in to the whiners and women.
Well, you must have gotten there after me because as soon as I saw it, I went, huh, and I looked at the comments and so many people were like, oh my God, finally. So, there were more than, but for every 5 of those, there was at least one person going, this sucks. That's amazing. That's Hearthstone, by the way, dear listeners. They are nerfing the Rogue Quest.
The broken one. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it the broken one. The most obnoxious one by far.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you could play through Cobblade if you really wanted, but it was that feeling of like you could beat the deck, but you had to play to beat that one deck. So anyway.
Yeah.
That was just supposed to be a small tangent.
Fair enough. So, Hour of Devastation, the full set has been revealed, of course. By the time we got done recording, I think the full set was revealed. No, I guess it's tomorrow morning now that they do that. So,
yeah.
So like 12 hours after we got done recording, the full set was revealed. Because that's how it works. I honestly don't know where to start.
We can. You guys started at the bottom last week and worked your way up to talk about the deserts, and there were only about 2 more lands that were revealed. So if you want, we can start there.
Okay.
To the bottom we go.
To the bottom we go.
Started at the bottom, now we're
And in fact, I don't believe you mentioned Survivor's Encampment, so I don't think it was up yet.
I don't think so.
And Crypt of the Eternals is also.
Correct. So Survivor's Encampment is a desert. It's a common. You can tap to add a colorless to add a colorless to your mana pool. Or you can tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Is this what it was called in Battle for Zendikar?
I don't think so.
Gatherer. Because there was a land that either did this or did something very, very similar. I can see it in my head as people encamped on a...
Yeah, it's not Survivor's encampment.
Ally encampment.
Oh,
But no, that's allies. I see it in my head. There was a land in Battle for Zendikar, and you could tap an untapped creature you controlled to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I thought, that's gonna drive me crazy. But so it's a common. It's not overly powerful, but I do like that. Before you get the creatures, it's enough to at least just bump your mana, even though it doesn't give you the color. But once you get the creatures, and you really need that second green, or you need to be able to play 2 green and 2 green spells in a turn, and you're not going to be attacking anyway, or it's a utility creature, then you get the mana. So it's not like a super impressive card, but I get the feeling that for limited, it will do a decent amount of work.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And the flavor is pretty cool too, because as you guys were talking about, when you were talking about the final cards, like each god's final, this or that or the other. Where is the green one? Oh, come on. Why can't I find it? I am terrible at this. I am just doing an awful job tonight.
In other news, I don't see the thing in Battle for Zendikar that you were thinking of, so I don't think it was in there.
Like Ronus's Last Stand, the Mega Exert spells. You guys were mentioning that when we got to the red one, that it actually had a different flavor to it, where Hazoret's Undying Fury, it was a question of, well, does she actually survive? And the last story card is Hour of Devastation, and it basically seems to be Nicol Bolas wiping everything out. And he's certainly at least defeated the Gatewatch, but it might be possible that there were enough survivors from the plane to actually start some kind of new civilization. So, and I think that's what they're alluding to here on the flavor text for Survivor's Encampment. What will happen to us? They asked. The Vizier paused. I think that's up to us now. So,
yeah,
so we don't know.
That is a little glimmer of hope there, isn't it?
Yeah. The whole set. I love the name of the last episode, by the way. This place is boned. This plane is boned. Because the whole set is literally doom and gloom. Mark Rosewater said that one of the themes for the set was disaster movies. And you can see that in a lot of this.
Yeah.
But it is uplifting that there are just a sprinkling, just a handful of cards that allude to life will continue on after all of this murder and mayhem. But I really wonder how welcome the Gatewatch will be, because it looks like this completely screwed up, and it might be more about just the people on the plane were able to push back, or at least make it to the point where they weren't worth fighting anymore to Nicol Bolas. And I don't know that this is really chalk one up for our heroes. This might just be the people fighting back. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But they haven't finished putting up the story yet, so we'll see. We also hadn't seen Dunes of the Dead. Dunes.
Wait, why can't I find? Oh, because I don't know the alphabet, apparently.
I like this card.
Oh yeah, this card is cool. So Dunes of the Dead is an uncommon desert. It's that chokes Brian with sand, but not choking sands, because that's a black land destruction spell from ever and ever ago. But what am I? Dunes of the Dead. It taps for colorless mana, and when Dunes of the Dead is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you get a 2/2 zombie. Just a nice, boring 2/2 black zombie.
But it's interesting because it plays really well with all of these sacrifice a land or sacrifice a desert card that have all these effects. But here's something that just has the little bonus to it, and you may never get this in a normal game. You may just play this and tap it for mana, but in the games where you're going to sack a land, then you just get a nice little bonus. So I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and there are lots of things.
Yeah.
Like a whole crap load of things that say sacrifice a desert.
Yeah. And how cool is this if you have one of the ways to get lands back? Because there's a couple in the set kind of highlighted by the Green Crucible of Worlds guy, but there are others to then keep. If you were able to get this back, then that could be really powerful because you're filling up your board, or at least getting blockers. So yeah. And then Dark, you mentioned the last one.
Okay, and that is Crypt of the Eternals. That is an uncommon land. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Woo! Tap for colorless mana, and for 1 and tap, add blue, black, or red to your mana pool, so bolus colors.
Yep. In his article on Monday, Mark Rosewater mentioned that one of the itty-bitty themes for the set was, hey, look, Nicol Bolas is here, and they couldn't push the whole set in that direction because it's not enough to really be a major theme for the set, but they wanted to encourage it. So with Crypt of the Eternals, and then there's a little mana dork that can be tapped for bolus colors, a couple things like that. They encourage it without that theme taking over the whole set, and I think that's pretty elegant.
So one sort of question I have is that the bolus horns that are on lands, that's not Bolus himself. That's just some sort of architectural feature.
Yes. When Bolus kind of took over the plane.
Wait. I smell beard oil.
You do.
Oh no, he has emerged from my stomach, Zeus style. Wait.
Ew.
Darn it. Now I'm not going to be able to talk as much anymore.
So, hey, everybody. Mike's here.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. Sorry, I keep going with the Bolus horns thing. I just really wanted to call attention to that.
So, when Bolus took over the plane and twisted it to his own use, he killed all the adults on the plane so that there would be no one to remember that he wasn't the God Pharaoh. And he twisted the ley lines of the gods so that they wouldn't remember who he was and just think of him as the God Pharaoh. And then he erected, because this was a pre-mending Bolus, he erected these horns and he enchanted them so that you had the same perspective of them regardless of where you were in the city. So that, first of all, they were this giant monument to him that he was over all of the other gods, and second of all, as the little clock ticker downer thing, egg timer for the hours. Ding, pie's done, time to die. So, yes.
Ding, fries are done. I did not know that about the perspective thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's like the monsters in original Doom, for those of you who are old enough. Like when you killed an imp, it landed on the ground feet towards you. And if you strafed around it, it just sat there and turned, because there was only one sprite for a dead imp.
Right.
And so there's only one sprite for Bolus horns.
So this is why, regardless of what piece of art you're looking at, if it has the horns in it, you're never seeing the horns from the side or anything. So
it's weird that they worked that into the story and it wasn't just, an artistic choice by everybody.
Well, he's ego to the max. So if he's going to have a monument, more than you. So hey, Mike, we had literally just started at the bottom, kind of like you did last week, because there were only a handful of new lands. So we just got started because we wasted a lot of time. Talked a lot. Wasted a lot of time talking a lot.
There we go.
So I am disappointed, gentlemen, that there's literally one card in the whole set that cares about brick counters. That just feels so odd to me. It's like, are you going to do it or not?
I was expecting at least one more that we would get to tear down as we activated the abilities.
That was a cool idea. I feel like that was a really wasted opportunity. I'm not like Sun, I am disappointed, to the point that I think it ruins the set, but it's a little bit like, why do it this one time? And we're like, that's awesome, and then not do it with anything else. When we have brick counters from the previous set in the block, I'm just like, what? But okay. All right.
You know what? I'm so disappointed I'm not even going to go to the pre-release.
Me either.
Yeah.
Mike's going to go to the pre-release, though, right? Right?
Yes, I'm not disappointed enough.
Good. You are, in fact, our only hope. So, Chewie and I have obligations. Yeah.
I don't. I'm going to Busch Gardens.
Well, it's my wedding anniversary, so plus we got a lot of work to do.
But it's a family trip, so that makes it okay.
So, what do you guys think about the Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs?
Okay.
I was just thinking,
this is hilarious. Because there's this wall of these statues, and they just stand there in the way. But if you have a desert, then one of them will peek like it is in here and like throw a sandball at you. Whap! In the back of the head, and you go, hey, what was that? And he's just standing there back in line like, nothing. And that makes me happy. It's got to be a sandball, though, because that's a thing, right? It's like snowball.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a snowball because it's the sand. It's the desert.
Duh. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, Mike, what were you going to say? I just love that.
I was going to say that I was looking at it and I was just thinking that if I were to sit down for a draft and I saw the opportunity, I would probably try to draft the Forgotten Pharaoh deck.
Right?
It seems like a great sense of inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, outside of that, I am not sure how great it is.
No.
I know for that stands in the way in any color is probably pretty good, but not like great.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, this could go in your EDH deck if it's a desert theme, which some you might do. But a lot of the cards that were not revealed earlier are commons and uncommons, and so I think I don't automatically think of limited, but a lot of times I think about limited because I'm not thinking as much in the context of a constructed deck. So for 2 mana, a artifact creature wall common. With Defender, of course, 0/4 for 2. It's not terrible. It's not going to kill anything, and tap to have it deal 1 damage to target player. Activate it only if you control a desert or there's a desert in your graveyard. So you might go ahead. You might get run down a little bit first. Marshall Sutcliffe wrote an article for the Mothership today talking about how Amonkhet originally looked like it was going to be a slow format, and then with Exert, it actually ended up being much faster than people realized. And now we have Exert and we have Afflict, which are both very aggro. So I don't know if this would you can block all day long with Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, but if you're still getting pinged for 2 anyway by an Afflict creature, that might be kind of rough. But you could have this online literally the turn you play it if you first turn or second turn a desert. So I don't know. Peekaboo. Is Traveler's Amulet a reprint?
Yes.
I feel like it is. Okay.
I was going to say, if it's not, it should be.
Okay.
I think this is at least the 3rd time it's appeared.
And Manolith is a reprint. And wasn't Manolith originally in a core set?
In a commander set. Wasn't
nice.
It? Was it core or commander?
Manolith.
Gatherer.
Mana. Well, Mana apparently pulls up all sorts of stuff. Who would have thought?
Like pool?
I don't. It was first in M12.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not trying to go card by card, but I knew that those were reprints. You guys covered the hollow one last time, and that's cool. I like it a lot. And the Godpharaoh's Gift.
I really wonder if the hollow one is going to do anything.
Do something
somewhat busted in other non-standard formats.
In formats where you have free discard outlets, because right now the discard outlets are usually have some sort of mana attached to them or are limited to once a turn. But in an Eternal format, maybe.
I think it's interesting for Living End decks to have someone they can actually play to the board while they're busy setting up.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's
cycle this, and guy.
Oh, dude, I'm looking at Dagger of the Worthy, and I just read the second line of that first ability. I literally didn't even see that before. I saw for 2, it's an equipment, it's an uncommon equip of 2, and equip creature gets +2/+0, and I'm like, okay, so it's a fixed Bone Splitter, and it has Afflict 1,
which makes it neat.
Afflict, I think, is going to be very punishing. So all those board stalls, rightio. Any other artifacts anybody wants to talk about? Going once.
Did we?
There's Abandoned Sarcophagus.
I was about to ask, did we talk about the abandoned sarcophagus?
You talked about it last week.
Okay.
Because you were like,
Oh, right. Okay. Good.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the Graven Abomination. But we
don't really need to.
Yeah.
Traveler's Amulet was another one, and what's the land you drop, tap, search for a land?
Evolving Wilds.
Tapped.
Evolving Wilds.
This feels like this is a great. You play an Evolving Wilds. Next turn, you do this, and it feels like it's a faster mana. It's just a little bit more mana acceleration.
Well, it puts it in your hand.
Yeah,
so it gets you what you need, but it doesn't advance the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Wayfarer's Blobble that puts it on the battlefield.
And it has to be a basic land, so it can't get you like a desert or a dessert.
It was in original Innistrad and then Theros. And I do not remember the art for the Theros version at all. That is not popping up in my head or in my memory banks. So yeah, Mike was right. This is the third time we've seen it.
Much simple.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that you really want in your sealed pool if you have like a splash color. Like, I really hope I get like a Traveler's Amulet. That'll be awesome.
And it helps to build the super greedy sealed decks that people were advising near the beginning of the format.
Were there?
Yeah, where you just done the. I remember the advice that people were giving out when they were talking to people at the Pro Tour was that you can be super greedy with sealed because of cycling and whatnot, but it was better to be focused and aggressive with and build around something with draft.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I don't know if that's still true, but that's what I remember people talking about at the time.
All right. Well, moving right up, I believe we've covered all of the Aftermath spells. You guys hit the last one or two last week. I believe the only multicolored card we have not talked about is the Spider.
Oh, yeah, and it's actually really cool.
There's no Spider God here. Doesn't that make you sad, Chewy?
Oh, yeah, I'm just all
Spider God.
I'm just all toe up at the
Spiders weren't a thing in ancient Egypt.
I know, but I have to make fun of it I have to say it to Chewy. So Dirk's being all like,
there was no plague about it, and didn't show up in any of the writings or anything like that. So
Dirk just called you anyway. So yeah, the Obelisk Spider. I'll take this one because it's actually pretty cool. For one, a black and a green is a 1/4 uncommon spider. It has reach because spider.
And it's giant.
And whenever
Look at that art.
Obelisk, it is, and the art is really cool. Like, if this was anything but a spider, that'd be better. But whenever Obelisk Spider deals combat damage to a creature, you put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. So it's not like Wither, it's in addition to.
Yeah, in addition to.
Yeah.
Yes. Which people are not going to realize right away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if this blocks a 2/2, then the 2/2 dies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This wants first strike so badly, but anyway.
It really does. But not only that, whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, not whenever the spider does it, whenever you put a -1/-1 counter on any creature, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
See, I drafted this deck in Amonkhet, and I would so love to draft this deck with the spider now, because my deck was already. This is one of my favorite archetypes already. Was the black-green counters, and with this,
wasn't
the Amulet card that you guys covered last week, the rare one, where whenever an opponent casts a spell, you put a -1/-1 counter on it. Well, this would be your effect that's putting the counter on it. So you'd be the one putting the counter on it, even when your opponent plays a spell. So if you have this out and that out at the same time, whenever they cast a spell, they're slowly shrinking your Amulet, which, by the way, resets itself every time it hits the opponent. But you're draining them. So it's basically, hey, whenever an opponent plays a spell, drain a life from them.
That's a good card.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wasn't the Phyrexian stuff -1/-1 counters?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wither.
Yes.
And,
Wither
Infect.
and Infect.
in fact,
And
yeah,
this
there we go.
this
Not
this
Wither.
says each opponent loses 1 life. Now you only gain 1 regardless of how many opponents you got, but still.
Yeah, if there's any two-headed giant events that anyone's going to this weekend, which only you early release people that are listening to this before the pre-release, but still, that's going to be insane.
Yeah. I kind of like
the green
this
guys who like put -1/-1 counters on your creatures.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why don't you lose 3? You know,
Well, it's one or
One
more. It's
or
not
more.
one for every single counter.
Yeah.
It's just whenever counters happen.
oh, okay.
It
well,
just
that's-
does one.
Okay, good, because that
Nice try.
would be too good.
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for
Black Sun Zenith, drain you for $1 million.
oh, bad Mike, bad, bad. Go to your corner.
Wait, which corner is Mike's? Mike, you know which one.
Yeah, the one I'm sitting in right now.
Well, moving right along. So we're
what
not
do you
here all
guys-
night.
What do you guys think of the Sifter Worm?
I was just looking at that.
Okay, what does it do there, Zerkovsky?
So, Sifter Worm for 5 and 2 green. It's an uncommon worm that's a 7/7 with trample. When Sifter Worm enters the battlefield, scry 3. Then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to the card's converted mana cost.
This card reminds me so strongly of Pelota Worm because it's a 7/7 for 7 with trample. This one's actually a little easier to cast because isn't Pelota Worm 4 and 3 green?
Yep.
And that one was when it comes in, you gain the life, and then when it dies, you draw a card? Or do I have it backwards? Okay. This one, you don't get to draw any cards, but you get to scry 3. You don't have to wait for it to die. When it comes in, you immediately get to scry 3, and then you get to gain X life. X might be more than 7. However, the more important thing is, regardless of whether this lives or dies, you're going to draw the card you want out of those 3 next turn. And because it's not even like, look at the top 3 cards and put them back in any order, it's scry 3. That's crazy because you're literally setting up at least your next turn, if not your next 3 turns. If you want to keep all of them, or heck, if it's 3 lands, they all go away. I'm not saying this card is nuts because it costs 7. I think it's appropriate, but I feel like this is really solid. You know how good Pelota Worm is in Limited? It's amazing if you've ever played it or against it.
It is pretty good.
It is completely nuts.
And is this better? No, but it's different. But the value feels very, very similar. You know what I mean? So I saw this and I'm like, do I know you? I do know you. You've gotten a facelift. I like it. Yeah.
I just really like that it's a big-ass late-game thing that has this awesome... Even if it just said, when it enters the battlefield, scry 3, it would be amazing.
With trample for a 7/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, hey, look at the next 3 cards. Pick a good one. There you go.
Awesome.
That'll be what you draw next. But the fact that it's that, and then gains some life if you need it. That's really cool.
It is, in fact, really cool. I like it.
Now, by the way, dear listeners, we're not saying that this card is like going to break any formats or anything. We're just saying that in the world of the hell was that? Well, you guys didn't hear that, but the listeners did. I apologize. I don't know what that was. But in the world of like a pre-release or limited or something like that, this is pretty good because by the time you get to the ability to cast a Sifter Worm, you might be kind of low on cards, which means low on options. Anyway,
and you might be low on life.
That's also possible.
This is a 7/7 body that will at least block for a turn before it starts getting in there. That also gives you a little boop to your life. Boop. But I also kind of like it. While it's not, some people are very, very, very high powered with their EDH decks, and this is probably not quite good enough for that. It's also a big, dumb creature that has Scry 3 on it that if you're able to cheat it out, might be really good. So I could see a deck playing this in EDH. Who's that? There's the Anima deck, the thing that's Naya colors, and every time you play a creature spell, you put +1/+1 counters on it, and then it reduces the cost of the creatures you play.
That's Animar is Temur colored.
His team are colored? Okay.
Yes.
But I think this guy would like Animar pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not bad for a worm.
Yeah, well.
There have been some really not great worms.
I know you're not thrown off on scaled... No, wait, scaled worm's pretty awesome. Crawl worm.
Mm.
Does anyone watch Bob's
There
Burgers?
have been some worms that you just look at and go,
But, well, no, really. Does anyone watch Bob's Burgers? Because when I said crawl worm and Dirk went, I got a very strong Tina vibe. I'm just saying.
No, I don't watch that. Is that a show?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. Never mind. Okay. What else is worth talking about?
Well, did you talk about the Tenacious Hunter? It's right next to it. It's another uncommon. It's a crocodile. For 2 and 2 green, it's a 4/4. So it's a 4/4 for 4. Well, that must have a drawback, right?
Clearly.
No. As long as a creature, not this necessarily, but as long as a creature, and it doesn't even have to be a creature you control, as long as a creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, Tenacious Hunter has Vigilance and Death Touch. Mike, you hate
for
this.
$1.
Mike, you hate this card already, don't you?
Yeah, blockers with Death Touch are pretty annoying for me.
How about blockers with Death Touch that you don't have to hold back? You hate this already, and you hate Scorpion.
I guess I just need to run whatever creature with a -1/-1 counter I have straight into it.
That would probably do it, yeah. But if you have the creature with the -1/-1 counter on it, you just protect it, you might have a hard time with that. So I like it. I feel like this is going to be a running theme for this episode, but they've covered most of the crazy, wacky mythics and that sort of stuff. This is not going to break anything, but it's kind of neat. I like it.
This is going to make somebody... Oh, go ahead.
Works well with the Obelisk Spider.
It does.
This is going to make somebody swear. I can just feel it. Like, it's going to be on a board, and somebody's going to forget what it does. And okay, I'll make it me. So this is going to be on my opponent's board, and I'm going to not remember what it does. Well, not me, because I'm not going to a pre-release, but I'll play a thing and put a -1/-1 counter somewhere, and then this thing will proceed to wreck me the rest of the game. And it'll be all my own fault. I can totally see that happening.
Me too.
Ugh. Let's see. Hey, there's another hippo.
I want to ask you guys, this is not a new thing, but I just want to ask you really quick, because I wasn't here last week, what is your favorite of the Mega Exert cards, the God Exert cards? Because mine has got to be the blue one. That is insane.
It's completely crazy.
I think you guys started talking about it, and you're like, this is nuts. And then because you had a million other things to talk about, you kept going. But I'm like, I feel like this is constructed worthy. I realize everybody looks at the black one and goes, yeah, it's a Wrath. But I'm like, this takes my problem with some of them is that it has this big effect, but all the shields are down. This grabs something from them, so you automatically have that thing. It's not an enchantment, so it can't be dispelled or anything like that. The only way they're getting whatever you steal is if they bounce it and then replay it. And yes, they might go ahead and destroy it, but dies to Doomblade is an argument for anything. So I feel like the blue one or maybe the green one, because the green one is so cheap and feels very strong when you play it really early, are my favorites. But what do you guys think?
I think my favorite is the red one.
The red one's pretty cool, but it's a whole lot of chaos even for me.
Yeah, but as far as which one I think is the best, I don't know.
I do think the blue one is the best.
All right.
Because control changing effects like this, I mean, they're a removal spell and a defensive spell at the same time if you're taking a creature. Otherwise, they're just a removal spell and nice artifact.
That's mine.
Which is still good. And you said, yeah, well, what if your opponent just destroys it? It's like, well, you just killed their thing and made them discard a removal spell.
Exactly. That's pretty good.
I have to say, though, I think the one that I would most want to have might be the green one. Like, as far as, like, if I were to open it at a pre-release.
Yeah, it's
like,
5/4 is a lot.
Yeah, 5/4 on turn 2 is kind of stupid.
Yeah. And even later in the game, it's still good.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just want to throw that out there because I didn't have a chance to talk about the blue one with you guys last time. What do you think is your favorite or the strongest of the hours? Because remember, the green one gets you lands, and then if you've got lots of deserts, you get zombies. The red one is the 5 damage to everything, and it all loses indestructible. The black one, it's the black hour.
Exile a creature. If it was a god, then exile.
Oh, that's our Hour of
gods.
Glory.
That one's that one's good, but not
right
in the like whoa kind of way.
The blue one, the Hour of Eternity, which is the eternalize all the things. And then the Hour of Revelation is the destroy all non-land permanents. Does it have to be the blue one? I don't know if it has to be the blue one, but the blue one seems pretty cray-cray.
Yeah, I mean, given enough mana, it's easily the most ridiculous, I think. I think I gotta go with the red one again, just because it's no, everything dies, damn it. I like that.
Yeah, I do like the red one.
When all the things die.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the green one.
I mean, you can do some truly ridiculous things with the green one because there's no restrictions on what you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, it's just 2 land cards. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I'll get a Guy's Cradle and anything else. Doesn't actually matter.
You're a jerk, Mike.
Or you can get the Urborg Cabal Coffers combo.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Shut up.
Why do we let him in here anyway?
I don't know. He's in the Discord thing. He just hit join call.
I
did. It's a flaw.
Quick, somebody get a copyright claim on. Wow, that was bad.
That would have been funny, too. That's the sad part.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys think about Overcome? Because
it proves to us how unfair Overrun really was.
Thank you. Yeah.
Overrun was +3?
Yes.
So
okay.
Overcome. Go ahead, Dirk.
So Overcome is the same thing for 3 and 2 green. Creatures you control gain +2/+2 and gain trample. So the difference is Overrun is +3/+3 and trample. This is +2/+2.
Yeah, and I think Overrun had 1 more green in its cost, but it was still 5 total.
Yeah, and it was dumb. I mean, you could have had the game in hand, and they're just stalling, and eventually they just top deck Overrun, and the game was just over, and there's nothing you could have done. It's funny how just even 1 less power and toughness across the board makes a big difference because it's an exponential difference. So I saw that and I was like, are they basically just going ahead and admitting, kind of like with Open Fire, yes, we're not going to have Lightning Bolt in the set, you goobers.
I don't understand Open Fire because
what don't you understand about it? It's 3 damage.
I know, but I would think that would at least go back to something like Lightning Strike, but to cost 3, I was surprised to see it.
I don't know. Maybe there's enough burn currently in Standard to where having a Lightning Strike was just slightly too good.
Yeah, and that's possible. I haven't looked at those things in enough detail to have a good read on it.
Yeah. Hey, what's your favorite hippo in the set?
Pretty hippo.
That was just a dumb question. I just happened to look at Rampaging Hippo because that's a terrifying thing.
It is the only hippo in this set, isn't it?
Hippos are some of the deadliest creatures in the world, and people go, "Oh, look, hippos!" But no.
Yeah, you should avoid them like the plague.
There's also there's a hippo token in the last set because what was it, Mouth to Feed?
Oh yeah, Mouth to Feed.
Yeah,
made a hippo token. Yeah, hippos are very dangerous. I remember reading. Someone asked Steve Irwin what the most what he remembers being, the most like the scariest or most dangerous thing that he'd ever done on the show. And he said it was when they had to cross a river and they were near a pod of hippos. And he was really concerned that everyone was just going to suddenly just all die out of nowhere.
I mean, you see them in zoos and you just kind of like, oh, they look so slow and big and no.
They're quite aggressive if you get too close to them.
And they can run really fast. They just start galloping like a horse.
I like Rampaging Hippo because it feels a lot like the old school, like, Onslaught, creatures with cycling. Hey, it's one of these very basic choices. Do you want to hold on to your mana, or is it late enough in the game that you want a 5/6 for 6 mana? Or is it early enough that you just want the card? So pure, straight, simple. It's not one of these really, do I think very hard about it kind of things.
Yeah.
So
sort of like, do I cycle the Croson Tusker or not?
What do you mean or not?
Except this one's got trample.
What do you mean or not?
Croson Tusker did not.
Croson Tusker, we've said this before. Croson Tusker was just an uncounterable spell.
Yeah, I think you're thinking a little too hard about the Croson Tusker thing. I feel like this is a little more straightforward. Croson Tusker is just no. Yeah, or yes, or whichever way you want to look at it.
Oh, Lord.
So,
I like Quarry Beetle.
You like what?
Quarry Beetle, what he said is pretty cool.
Oh, the
Quarry Beetle.
Yeah, there we go. Words.
Quarry Beetle. It puts it, yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah, it's cool.
Wait, what? Oh my god, yeah, read that.
So, Quarry Beetle for 4 and a green. It's an uncommon insect. It's a 4/5. When Quarry Beetle enters the battlefield, you may return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
I completely missed to the battlefield. That's good.
That's cool.
I like it a lot. And it's a 4/5. There's a reason I think if it was just to your hand, it would have been a common. The fact that it is directly to the battlefield makes it uncommon, and it makes it a lot easier to abuse some of those deserts. I kind of like using this guy with the Safe Haven land, the Endless Sands. Yeah, because Endless Sands doesn't exile itself. Ha!
Yeah, you're right.
Now you see me? No, you don't. Now you see me? Stop that. No.
And then, what was that? And the, what's it called? Dang it. The Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs goes... So I just want to bring up... Now, I don't care about the card itself, like what it does, but I just want to bring up the fact that there's a card in the set called the Frilled Sandwalla.
I love Rootwallas. They're great.
Yeah, but it's not a Rootwalla because desert, so it's a Sandwalla.
So it's a Sandwalla.
Yeah. But it's still, it's a Rootwalla ability, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 1/1 for a green. It's a lizard, of course. For 1 and a green, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, but you can only do that once each turn. So yeah, it's totally a Rootwalla, but because desert, it's a Sandwalla.
And because of that ability, it's a 1-drop that can, trade with creatures that cost as much as 4, sometimes even 5, depending on what they are.
Yeah. And it's really funny. Speaking of really funny, I don't know why, but I love the Dune Diviner.
Dune Diviner.
It's interesting.
Well, what's it do, Mike?
For 2 and a green, it's an uncommon 2/3 Naga Cleric. And you can pay 1 and tap an untapped desert you control to gain 1 life.
Board stall. I mean, if you've got 3 deserts and 3 other lands, then you can just gain 3 life a turn, which is not impressive all by itself, but...
Easily repeatable life game
yeah.
Can make a difference.
The question with everything is always, how many deserts are you actually going to end up with, That's the question that I have.
I just like the idea of...
A well-wisher for lands?
Well, no, just like the end of each turn, you just, okay, well, let me just tap this stuff and gain 2 life. Just, all right, I've run out of cards, I don't have anything else to do, let me gain 2 life. Because that, like Mike said, the easily repeatable life gain in Sealed is just brutal.
Or even Constructed.
I mean, I don't think this guy will be any good in constructed, but yeah.
Not a competitive constructed.
Yeah. I like the art on the Devotee of Strength. I don't know why.
That's pretty cool.
What is he doing?
He's doing the twist.
Oh, come on, baby. Like we did last summer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
he's a
last
Naga.
year.
Okay, so that's him. Oh, he is doing the twist.
What did you think he was?
Well, okay. The way that I'm seeing this is I see it looks like his torso, and then that's like a knee with the top of a boot that's jutted out in front, and then another leg over to the side. But that's not what that is at all. And now that I see it, I can see it. But before my eyes weren't.
You just saw a jumble of arms and legs at first.
Yeah, like I saw, it looks like a scorpion humanoid, and he's got this long snake thing behind him. I'm like, what the hell is that? But no, that's his torso that I'm seeing in his hand, and a piece of the background. And like I said, now that I've parsed it correctly, it makes more sense. But I was really confused. Now I like the art even more. I'll be alright. Everybody shut up. Leave me alone.
One that I really like is the Bitterbow's sharpshooters.
Yeah? That's pretty
That
good.
art's really cool. It's not a bad card.
Their bows, even their bows have freaking bolus horns on them. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Kind of interesting flavor text.
Oh, I didn't read it.
Well, they are 4 in the green. It's a common jackal archer that's a 4/4, and it has vigilance and reach.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
Flavor text says, "Remember, brother, the eyes are always vulnerable." And the response is, "I never forgot."
The forgot
weird.
part is what's throwing me because
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Because
Not-
she told him to remember.
Oh.
it just seems very solemn. I mean, there's a lot of solemn stuff in this set, but something about it just was like, I never forgot. It almost speaks to like some kind of personal tragedy or something. Why would you not forget that? It sounds a little more serious than just, yeah, I learned that in class the other day.
Well, maybe it's something that happened during their crop training.
Maybe.
Here, it probably happened on the 5th of November.
Maybe the
gunpowder treason?
the archer that's got his back to us is like only has one eye or something, and his sister's just a real dick.
Remember, aim for the yes. Got it.
Thank you, Gina. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
All right. Anything else in green?
Yeah, not really.
I like Ambuscade. Ambuscade is I heard it described as a punch card instead of a fight card. It doesn't fight; it punches. I think Marshall might have said that.
I thought it was ambuscade.
Sure, why not?
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me. Aha! There's a listen in Google. Hang on, listen.
Ambuscade.
Okay, it's ambuscade. Yeah. You guys
I
couldn't
didn't
hear it,
realize
but-
that was a real word.
Yeah, it's an ambush or attack from an ambush. So it's either the ambush itself or to attack from an ambush. Nice. But yeah, this is one that's going to mess people up because...
What if they already used the name ambush on another card? Gather. Probably.
Yeah, it gave something, I think, first strike?
Blocking creatures gain first strike until end of turn.
Yep.
Oh, look at the big brain on that one.
Oh.
That's from like Homelands or something, or Iceland.
Yeah,
or
it costs
something.
4. It's an instant. Ugh.
Yeah.
You remembered a card from Homelands.
Is it from Homelands?
It is from
Okay.
Homeland.
Because there was also Ambush Party in that set too, so
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, okay, so to red.
To red. Take some damage. You guys talked about how cool the Manticore Eternal is. I think it's interesting, and the flavor text speaks to this a little bit, that, there would be non-humanoid Eternals, because the whole point in the trials was to kind of weed out anyone that wouldn't make for a good Eternal. And here it's just like, yeah, you know what? You're big and scary, and we could probably use you too. So
Bullis is
not
like, I want him. Like, that's just a Manticore. I know what I said. All right.
It is actually anti-racism. This is,
It's very progressive of Bolus,
it's very progressive.
Let's see.
I like the Magma Rod. For 3 and a red, it's an uncommon elemental. 5/5, so 5/5 for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, it gets a -1/-1 counter on it. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can remove a -1/-1 counter from it. So it's kind of got a weird sort of prowess.
Huh, yes. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Wow. It's got like prowess with a limit to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because a lot of prowess cards you want to go ahead and load up on like one big turn. But this, there's really not an advantage to using it all at once. You kind of want to spread it out so that you're able to keep it at full strength. Like if you use a non-creature spell and it doesn't have a counter on it, then that's one that you won't be able to use later. So
it's a pretty cool looking thing too.
Yeah. I like red elementals.
So what have we got for burn? We've got, so the aforementioned open fire. We've got puncturing blow, which
just sounds painful.
Yeah, for 2 red, it's a common sorcery. Common sorcery deals 5 damage to target creature, and if that creature dies this turn, you exile it instead. So that's a thing to watch out for.
Yeah. At least it's a sorcery.
Yeah.
Inferno Jet, which sounds awesome. For 5 and a red, it's a sorcery, deals 6 damage to an opponent, to target opponent. It's an uncommon, and it has cycling.
That's... I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, the fact that it can't hit creatures...
It's Lava Axe +1, but it has cycling.
It's Lava Axe that you can cycle. Yeah. How often... I mean, I there's many times where I wish I could cycle a Lava Axe. So, it's true.
Oh, look, another big red elemental. The Granitic?
I think so.
Huh. The Granitic Titan. Because it's granite, but it's only kind of granite. Anyway.
A granite-ish Titan.
Yeah, granite-ish. For 4 red, it's just like the Hippo. For 4 red, it's a 5/4 with menace and cycling. You
guys talked about... is there anything more you wanted to say about that?
No, I just really like the art. The card itself is whatever.
I like the fact that it has menace. That at least gives it some value.
Yeah.
You guys talked a little bit about Imminent Doom last week, and mostly in the context of the art. But I really kind of like it. I think it's a fun little build around me card.
Yeah. It seems like the sort of thing that you would want to play, yeah.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? It's very Johnny-ish. And it wants you to build your deck in a certain way. So, yep. Just want to throw that out there.
I also just realized that it costs 3, and it starts with a counter. So the next turn, you can play a 1-drop and then a 2-drop.
It would be really hard for it if it didn't give itself a counter, because then you have to pay something that costs 0?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. I interrupt. So, yeah, you can play a 1-drop and a 2-drop without any sort of acceleration at all. And deal
3 damage
spread out
a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It is a bit unfortunate that you can't really reset the counters at all, but
sure you can. You just play blue and bounce it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Whatever.
Can you play red and blue together? Isn't that against the rules?
Not according to the Bloodwater. What's Bloodwater entity? Boom. Sick burn. And card draw. Let's see, what else? Oh, more burn. We've got the Blur of Blades.
I like Blur of Blades.
I like the name. It's a really
1 and a red
name.
Instant. It's a common, so watch out for common removal spells. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, and this deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. That's regardless of whether it kills them or not.
So it's a scar and a shock to a player.
And it does cost 2, but that's not unreasonable, I think.
Nah. Yeah, really.
One that I find interesting is Clash Through. Did you guys already talk about this?
Crash Through?
Crash Through,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it yet.
Oh, it's all of them? Huh. Okay, go ahead, Dirk.
So for 1 red, it's a common sorcery. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. Draw a card.
It's got the magic words.
Well, the thing that I always find interesting is in blue, which is the color where you usually draw cards, usually it's kind of expensive, or usually there's a lot of stuff you have to sort of do in order to draw a card. And here, for 1 red, I can draw a card, and my stuff gains trample.
I mean, it's fine to just kind of play because you're essentially just cycling it just for a red, but you also then all your stuff gets trampled. So
yeah, it's like you pay 1 red to get rid of this card and get a different card instead, and your stuff gains trample.
Yeah.
You remember how much of a massive pain it used to be to give your creatures trample?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now freaking red is doing it for single mana. Ain't this a bitch?
But I also like how, because it grants trample, it gives an interesting additional angle of attack for the whole, Storm Chaser Mage, Monetary Swift Spear, 1-drop spells deck.
Ooh.
Because it gives trample.
Yeah.
And it draws a card, which those decks also really, really, really want to do.
Yeah.
Huh. Neat.
Hmm.
Okay, so I just read the flavor text on the Burning Fist Minotaur, and I really like that.
It's pretty hardcore.
Like the Burning Fist Minotaur itself, 1 in a red for a 2/1, 1 in a red for a 2/1 uncommon Minotaur wizard with first strike. 2/1 with first strike is pretty good. For 1 in a red and discard a card, he gets +2/+0 until end of turn. That's even better with first strike. But what I like about it is, so his fist is burning. He's punched it into his other hand in the art. And the flavor text is, there is no afterlife. Not for me, and not for you. So think again before getting in my way. So he's like, look, we've been lied to. Everything's going all to hell. We don't even get glory if we die. Piss off. I just like that. Okay, moving on.
Okay. I'm moving up to black, unless there's anything else in red worth talking about.
Seems fine.
Yeah, the Firebrand Archer, by the way. Did we mention that last week?
The what?
Firebrand Archer?
No, you did not.
So 1 in a red for a 2/1 human archer, that's common. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's another one of those two-headed giant type of things.
How much does Gutter Snipe cost? 3?
3.
3 for a 2/2?
2/2 goblin.
Does it just deal 1 damage?
It's 2 damage.
Oh, okay. That would be why then.
Yes, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, but it has to be an instant or sorcery spell.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Neat.
So,
yeah, speaking of those blue-red spell-based decks, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, back to black.
Brian, you could try to bring back the Jeskai Ascendancy.
I could. Unfortunately, they took away the
Gitaxian Probe.
The probe. So, which I understand why they had to take it away. I really do, because Phyrexian mana. But it's really hard for that deck to win if it doesn't know that it can safely go off. So, not to mention playing a spell, getting a prowess trigger, and drawing a card for no mana. Yeah, what were they thinking? Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just fix it. Oh wait, they already banned it, so never mind. I like Vile Manifestation because I like how there's in the first set, you've got cycling, and then they had some cards that cared about when you discarded things, and of course they did. Kiwi. Sorry. They had also. They had cards that said whenever you discard a card or
the setting's so exciting. Oh.
or cycle a card. They had that theme, but here you've got more cards, like the hollow one, and then this, and like the empty sarcophagus that actually push cycling from different angles. And specifically like, hey, cycle all your cards so you get bonuses. So, for example, the Vile Manifestation for 1 in a black, a 0/4 horror uncommon. It's not a wall. It has cycling of 2 colorless, or 2 generic, I should say. and it gets +1/+0 for each card with cycling in your graveyard. So this is kind of like the, what was that Eldrazi card that the Vile Aggravate? Vile
Aggregate.
Yeah. I guess all the Vile cards are like no power things that care about something that you're doing. So is it Vile? But I like it here because I feel like it advances the theme in a good way and it grows over the course of the game. So, and the art is pretty nifty.
So looking at Vile Aggregate and then looking at and remembering the Enigma Drake or whatever it was called. I wonder why they did it this way. Because like those other cards, their power is, star or whatever. And the ability just says its power is equal to the number of blah, blah, blah in your graveyard. Like that's what the Enigma Drake said. So I'm wondering what about Violent Manifestation or what about its interactions with other cards made them want to do it this way?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because the difference between something that has a star in its power toughness and has a characteristic defining ability that says what that number is, the only difference is that a characteristic defining ability works everywhere all the time. But the Vile Manifestations ability would only work while it's on the battlefield. So when it's in your graveyard or in your library or hand or something, it has power 0. But something like Enigma Drake, it constantly has power equal to the number of instants and sorcerers in your graveyard. So I wonder why they did Enigma Drake like that and Vile Manifestation like this.
Something about, I guess, just making sure that even when it's in the graveyard, it's still 0 power.
I don't know.
Hey, look, a rat.
Yay, rat.
Yay, rat. You guys talked last week, and I don't want to keep bringing all this stuff up, but I do find the Torment cycle kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
And I'm glad that they decided not to keep it. I also read that article by Melissa DeTora, and I'm glad they decided not to keep it an actual mechanic for the set, because I feel like that would have been very Annihilator-ish, and that's not fun.
Yeah, that would have gotten really annoying if it was on a bunch more cards.
I only looked a little closer at Torment of Venom to see what was going on in the art, and that is disturbing.
I mean, that's the scorpion god in the background.
Mm.
And it looks like his stinger is just blacking venom out at people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The scorpion in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids really bothered me as a kid.
Well,
and after that, going to the zoo and going in the insect thing and seeing like the scorpions always made me really nervous. So.
I wonder what, you bring up an interesting point. I wonder what about spiders scarred me when I was a kid. Because something had to have.
I mean, we give you some flack for it, but spiders are inherently creepy looking.
I was just about to say that spiders are inherently frightening.
Yeah, that's not just you. Have you seen the second Harry Potter movie?
Well, yeah.
With the giant spider?
Yeah, and the forest of giant spiders.
Yeah.
That nobody ever had a problem with ever again anytime. And yet
they
Ron
stayed
could
away
still,
from it. They stayed away from it.
And yet
Once
Ron could still
there,
sleep at night.
You mark your map. You're like, hey, circle it. Don't go here.
Here there be spiders.
Okay, you know what else I find kind of disturbing? Moaning Wall.
I knew it.
Because I've read the story, and in the story, the first Hour of Devastation story, it opens with Pre-Mending Bolus showing up on the plane and battling the gods, and then he's like, okay, I need to do something about all these adults because I don't want to take the time to wipe their minds. And he actually said for a minute he regretted having to go, be violent. Not that he has a problem with it, but he prefers to draw out his plans and find more elegant solutions. But he says when you have to be violent, it's quick and conclusive. So he cast a spell and basically killed everyone over the age of 6 months or something. And that's all you knew is they just kind of vanished. They just kind of, they're dead. They're not hanging out somewhere. But this flavor text is really disturbing. So Moaning Wall for 2 and a black. For some reason, I'm getting all the 0-powered stuff here, but for 2 and a black, it's a 0/5 zombie wall that has Defender, and it has cycling. So that's pretty cool because, if it looks like they've only got flyers, this isn't going to do anything for you. Seems pretty straightforward, but the flavor text before the monuments, before the first trials, before Noctamun itself, Bolus culled the plane of its adults in order to rebuild it for his own designs. That we know. Why is it here? That's because the fact that this flavor text is on this card makes you think the adults ended up in this Moaning Wall.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the implication.
Yeah, but in the story, he's just like, and they're gone. Like, no muss, no fuss. So it was brutal, but it was quick and, no remains or anything.
At least not that you could see. Dun, dun, dun.
I guess they got dumped out in the desert somewhere.
I guess so. And it's terrible that he murdered all those people, but, out of sight, out of mind.
You got to do what you got to do,
I guess. I don't know. Just seeing this and reading the flavor text, I was like, oh. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, that's about all you can say about it. I mean, the card itself is whatever, but...
Yeah. What do you think of Lethal Sting?
I think that's really good. Well, maybe not really good, but it's good.
I just took the last card, so...
for all the green and black cards that I played in the pre-release events I was in that said, hey, put a -1/-1 counter on one of your guys to do something, I never felt bad or stupid about doing it because the bonus I was getting otherwise was just good enough, and I think this is good enough too. So Lethal Sting for 2 and a black, it's a common sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. Destroy target creature.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if you have a spider out, you can suck a life out of him too. Hit my knee. Oh god, muting.
Nice.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Slammed my knee into the bottom of the desk and really needed to swear.
So I like Grizzly Survivor, not for anything about the card, but the art is by Seb McKinnon, and so many of his pieces that I've seen over the years remind me of, the old days of Magic art where they weren't afraid to commission something that was just going to freak everyone the hell out.
Yeah.
And here you go.
It was like actually scary.
And everything about this card is, this is the end of the horror movie, but it's one of those horror movies where everybody turned on each other, and you got to wonder, what did this person have to do to make it out?
Mm-hmm.
No cartouches to earn, no afterlife to enter, only the glory of a well-struck blow and the growing pile of felled enemies at her feet.
Buh.
This place is boned.
Have we talked about Doomfall?
Yes, you did last week.
Okay.
Doom.
Oh, going back to creepy art, Carrion Screecher. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
I just look at Carrion Screecher and it just reminds me of the zombie bird from the last set that I just like a lot better that might sometimes be free. So
Oh, that reminds me. Last time we talked about it, the recording stopped. Okay, we're still going. Good.
Wow. The Bone Picker is much better than Carrion Screecher, but
much less creepy.
They can't all be Bone Picker.
I know they can't all be Bone Picker, or that's ridiculous, but it's too hard to avoid the comparisons because they both have the same converted mana cost.
Mm-hmm.
And Bone Picker can be free and has
cost 1.
Or it can cost 1. Sorry. And what if it costs 3 less and has additional point of toughness, and doesn't it have
Death Touch?
Yeah, and I realize Bone Picker's an uncommon, but still, I just look at Carrion Screecher and I'm like, could have been a contender. But
what about the Bane Whip Punisher?
That one seems cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So for 2 and a black, it's a 2/2 uncommon human warrior. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. and you can pay a black and sacrifice it to destroy a target creature that has a -1/-1 counter on it. If I die, it will not be alone. So, taking you with me.
When trouble comes along, you must
beat it with a whip.
When our problem comes along, Bane, whip it. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
And I like how you don't have to tap it to activate the ability. You can just do it whenever.
Yeah, that is a nice touch. Did we?
Is she a Belmont?
Did we see the Apocalypse Demon? I don't think I've seen the Apocalypse.
It was revealed when the set came out. Hey, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
What's an Apocalypse Demon?
Yeah, Dirk.
A really scary looking demon. So for 4 and 2 black, it's a rare demon that's got it's a star with flying. Apocalypse demons, power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap Apocalypse Demon unless you can sacrifice another creature.
So it's a Lurgoyf that flies. It's a Lurgoyf plus Lord of the Pit.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
And
basically, except it gets some bonus from any card, and it's not as punishing if you don't feel like feeding it.
Right.
And you can choose not to feed it.
Right. You can just keep it tapped down. But if you keep feeding it, it's going to keep getting bigger. And this is another one that just, whether or not it says it on the card, I just love cycling stuff. So I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of a normal game, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Cool. Hey, look. Okay, anything else in black?
Nah.
And I guess now that I think about it, there's a few random, untap this effects that are meant to work alongside Exert that will also be nice with Apocalypse Demon.
Oh, yeah. Hey, nice point.
Good point. Main phase or upkeep, choose not to feed it, then main phase, untap it, declare attacks, or wait to surprise them, or what have you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In the category of disturbing art, Unquenchable Thirst is not one of the horrifying, this is disgusting things. But when you think about what's happening, it ain't good. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't think I like it. I really don't think I like it.
It's horrifying in a much less,
in a more cerebral.
Yeah.
If you actually think about it, and if you've ever, I don't know exactly how to say it, but I look at it and I actually get a little uncomfortable looking at it. So I'm gonna let somebody else talk about it. Hey, look, tragic lesson. Yay! I see a god dying. That's much better.
That's much better. Okay, so Unquenchable Thirst for 1 and a blue is an enchant creature aura that's common, and it says when it enters the battlefield, if you control a desert or you have a desert in your graveyard, you tap enchanted creature, and the enchanted creature doesn't untap. So it always doesn't untap. But if you have a desert, you get to tap it down, so they don't get to use it. And so it's a standard, blue removal thing. That's fine. But the artwork shows someone that has their hands cupped, and they've lifted their hands up to let some water fall into their mouth because, thirst. And halfway down, it turns to sand. And so you just see them with sand hitting them in their open mouth. It's damn. I got nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And Tragic Lesson is kind of sad.
Well, it is because, as Gideon pointed out, even though the gods were corrupted, before the 5 gods were corrupted by Nicol, they were still the embodiments of virtues. They were still inherently almost good. They stood for those ideals, and Bolas is just now kill this one, kill that one, So their deaths are not only tragic for their deaths and the fact that they protected the people, but what they meant to the people beyond just protection was supposedly even being in the presence of a god, being in Hazaret's presence made you feel like you could do anything, and being in Kefnet's presence could open your mind. And so they really elevated the people. And then when these gods die, their hope kind of goes with them. So, what do you think of the art on Striped Riverwinder? Because this really stood out to me, like, a lot.
I read somewhere that part of the way it looks is like it's either an optical illusion or some kind of artifact from it being compressed down to card size.
Really?
Hmm.
You're talking about the like old-fashioned magic art look of it that it has?
Just the way the color is and the composition.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks very different from most of the stuff in the set.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it seems like it has a black outline around it, like a cel-shaded video game.
Yeah, that's what people picked up on.
Yeah.
And there was I think this was something that was covered in one of the Magic Daily updates earlier in this week. And there was a link to a Reddit post where someone had shown the like original full-sized art, and that outline just totally isn't there.
Oh, it's not, is it? Okay, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I found a picture. Let me put it in the chat. There you go. Yeah, it's definitely not there.
Yeah.
Damn, that's eerie. Oh, it's because it's got little spiny things that would be, anatomically correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but something happened when it was compressed down to card size that put that outline around it and possibly messed with the colors a tiny bit.
Oh yeah, that post apparently says the awesome black outlined Quentin Hoover look. Yup. That's what we were thinking. It's just an illusion / side effect of miniaturizing the image. Yeah, so I will put a link to that image in the show notes too, so you guys can see it.
Okay. It really stood out. So
it does. Good eye, Brian, and good catch on that, Mike. Huh.
Okay.
So
next card that really stood out to me, and certainly by all means, you guys, interject, but Riddle Form reminded me very much of some cards that we see every couple sets, like Halcyon Glaze and, the Wake Up creatures. So, Riddle Form for 1 and a blue. It's an enchantment. It's an uncommon. At any time, you can pay 2 and a blue to scry 1, which isn't terrible. It's just, that wouldn't do a whole lot on its own. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may have Riddle Form become a 3/3 Sphinx creature with flying in addition to its other types until end of turn. So it stays an enchantment. So you can always wake it up. But you don't have to. It says may. So if you're just like, I just want to, play this one spell, but you want to, you're dodging removal or it's not the appropriate time for it, then you can always just choose not to. But unlike Halcyon Glaze, this also, with that activated ability, this also has things it can do when it's not a creature. So I like it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And of course, it becomes a Sphinx. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, any input on that?
That's fine. I mean, 3/3 flyer is cool, but
3/3 flyer for 2 that's not always on. So
yeah, it seems good.
Yeah. You guys mentioned how good Nimble Obstructionist was last week, and I don't really have anything to add except just to say, yeah, this is actually really nuts. So,
is it a money? Right, that's the one that when you cycle it, you counter.
Right,
you stifle something. Yeah.
Is it a money card? Because it just feels like it's one of those cards that, at least initially, people are gonna.
It's possible. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not pre-ordering anything, so I'm not worried about it. But it's one of those cards that just struck me as, I bet that one's gonna be, up there. So
it is
anyway, $5
pre-ordering on like TCG Player for like $4 or $5.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there is something else Sphinx related.
Lies
that I want to share because, let's just consider the flavor text of Ominous Sphinx. The Sphinxes began to speak only after the second sun aligned. They whispered dire warnings, though no one listened.
Too late, guys.
Too late.
Too late.
And that's because, and this is something that I read in the Plane Shift document that they published for Amonkhet. They call it Plane Shift. They published it to go along with the different planes they visit as a D&D supplement
Right.
for the magic worlds they visit. So the Sphinxes, Nicol Bolas killed all the adult humans, and he wiped the minds of the
gods.
But for whatever reason, as part of his plan, the Sphinxes stayed alive. But part of just being a Sphinx makes your mind pretty much completely impenetrable and inscrutable. And it would have been way too much effort for Nicol Bolas to wipe the memories or otherwise mind control the Sphinxes on the plane. So he just put a curse on them that made them completely unable to speak.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. That's kind of cool. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've read the flavor text for this one, and I'm like, why didn't you guys speak up earlier? And I guess it's because they can't. Although you should really write it down.
Yeah, he made them completely unable to speak, and he banished them outside the city so they couldn't get in because the Heckma kept everything out.
Yeah. Okay.
Heckma barrier kept everything out.
Go to the Heckma with your sign, like how some people write John 3:14, and just
3:16.
3:16. I would. Hey, 14's good too. But
I'm
anyway,
curious about what 14 says.
but just write the God Pharaoh is alive. Like hold it up there.
Oh, that's ominous.
This seems pretty important. What's ominous?
John 3:14. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up.
With the sign that says Nicol Bolas. That is a bit ominous, yes. I promise not to quote any more scripture without having researched it first. I don't promise that at all. So, okay.
So wait a minute. If that's John 3:14, I wonder what Austin 3:14 is. It's probably throw me a beer.
I was just about to say something related to beer, but I couldn't think fast enough. Good call.
What do you guys think of imaginary threats?
Awesome.
It reminds me a lot of sleep, but sleep sometimes will be better because you just want to tap everything down, but this gives you the chance to eliminate some of those creatures. You just have to be careful that, you don't kill yourself when you cast it. So
if imaginary threats makes you lose, then your opponent was probably going to attack you anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad if you played this and they were like, oh wait, I have lethal. Okay. Or they have the pump spell in hand that you weren't counting on. But so for 2 and 2 blue, it's an instant, it's uncommon. It has cycling of 2 generic. Creatures target opponent controls attack this turn if able. During that player's next untap step, creatures he or she controls don't untap. So it's another good way of breaking through a board stall, because if they're just amassing things but neither player can really attack profitably, you can make sure they attack unprofitably. Not for profit.
Yeah, I was going to say non-profitably. Wait, not for profitably? Wait, no.
Tax exempt.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, attack charitably. Learning to attack charitably. There's the name of the episode right there.
All right, let's finish this up.
Yeah. Most of blue is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I like countervailing winds.
I thought you were going to say that. I don't know why, but I was like, Mike's going to say that. And then he did.
I mean, it's not circular logic, but thank goodness it isn't.
Thank God.
I was going to be like, what?
Thank Azaret. Yes.
Yeah, for 2 and a blue, it's a common instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. And it cycles for 2 mana.
So it's not going to cost as it doesn't cost. How much does I'm getting tired. The card you just mentioned from Torment.
Circular Logic, it's 3 for a normal cast, but 1 for a madness.
Right. And it's countered unless they pay X, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's just dumb. Okay.
Yeah, blue. The rest of blue is all right.
Yep.
Hey, look, there's Sunscourge Champion.
There it is.
Yep.
Found it.
When I was reading the release notes, it mentioned it. several cards have discarding a card as part of the cost to eternalize the creature, and like several. And I looked through the list, and like there's exactly 2. And I'm like, okay, guys.
You know, several.
You're not supposed to know stuff. What exactly is happening in unconventional tactics? Because I don't.
What? You don't get... Dude, you're dropping zombies from above. It's rain of zombie.
But they're flying. They're not from...
They're flying down from this bridge on top of your head.
But...
They're falling with style.
I just... it's a cool card, but I'm like trying to picture what's happening in the art, and I'm like, okay. I just don't get it. They're not... I get the falling with style part, but then why is it like, it reminds me of the part in Castlevania where, you know, you jump off the ledge and there's the hidden ledge. That looks like what he's doing. I don't, whatever.
Brain, no work. Damn it. I do like unconventional tactics though. So for 2 and a white, it's an uncommon sorcery. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Because that's totally a white card.
It has been in the past.
It has been, yeah. But then it gets weird. Whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay a white. If you do, return unconventional tactics from your graveyard to your hand.
What?
Yeah, which, I mean, that is definitely unconventional.
When I think of, like, a tribe I associate with flying, zombies is in white. You know, zombies is not at the top of the list. In fact, you might say it's falling rapidly toward the bottom of the list. It's kind of a cool card. It's just weird.
I like it.
All right.
Don't forget that if it's in your graveyard at the pre-release, you guys. Come on.
I like to think that Solitary Camel is like the zombie camel, the wretched camel, before it got zombified.
Yeah, maybe.
I realize there's more than one camel here, but, you know.
There are?
Aren't there?
I only noticed those 2.
Maybe it is the same one. This is the before picture. Now we need you to submit an after picture. Okay, but you're not going to like it.
I like to think that the solitary camel is actually the original camel who has somehow wandered his way into this plane and is like, oh, this is a nice place. I could call this place home. And then suddenly off in the distance, he's like, the hell is that?
Well, you see the sun just coming into the middle of the horn. So he got here right before everything broke loose. So you're saying this is like the camel?
This is the camel.
There's my next commander deck right there.
Oh, I'm tired and it's too funny.
Let's attack Charitably.
You guys talked about last week, but I just want to say that Overwhelming Splendor is just not nice. It's just not. Don't do it. If you have the urge to do this to your friends and you want them to stay your friends, just don't do it.
Yeah, maybe just skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
You over there, you get a humility. We're all okay, but you have your own personal humility. Have fun with that. Yeah, that just seems awful. I thought Saving Grace was a really interesting card. I had to read it twice to figure out what was going on.
I literally just got done reading it for the second time, and I think it clicked. Maybe if you read it out loud, it'll make more sense.
For 1 and a white, it's an enchantment. It's an aura. It's uncommon. It has flash. You enchant a creature you control. That creature gets +0/+3. I swear, this is my theme tonight. When Saving Grace enters the battlefield, that creature kind of turns into a pariah of sorts. All damage that will be dealt this turn to you and permanents you control is dealt to enchanted creature instead. Ironically, that includes the damage that would have been dealt to it originally because it's a permanent you control, but whatever. So basically, you flash it out, gets the pump, the toughness pump, and for this turn, if you or something else you were was going to get hit, it takes the hit.
This is a hell of a response to the Hour of Devastation.
Buh. Buh.
Just like,
Stuffy.
actually, everybody's fine except for this guy.
This guy is having a bad day. Stuffy Doll says, "What?"
Stuffy Doll's like, ooh, me.
Of course, Stuffy Doll would then, in your scenario, lose indestructibility, but
it would go out with such a bang. Yeah. He's what I always wanted. Ah!
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty good. Is Sandblast a reprint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it
Is
from like
Gatherer.
time something?
I think you're right. Sandblast.
5 damage. Yeah, it's from Fate Reforged. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the art I was thinking though.
It counts as the time something.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different sand thing though. That was a white spell that did something like this, like did 3 damage to
Sand.
something.
Bassandra, Battle Seraph. No.
Did you just type sand into?
Yes.
I hate sand. It's rough.
Did you at least notice that last week, Brian? Because I swear
yes.
none of these guys responded at all.
I saw it.
What?
The funny thing was that I was at the beach at the time, and I was getting tired of cleaning up the sand that everybody was, bringing back to the condo. So that was already in my head, and then I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
Wait, did I say that out loud, or did I just put it on...
You put it in the show notes.
Oh, okay. It must have been on Monday Night Magic that I said it out loud. Okay, never mind then. They also didn't respond.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, I was quoting dumb Anakin from Attack of the Clones.
Hayden Christensen is a very good actor that couldn't do anything with the script because who could?
I thought you were saying you made the I hate sand, it's rough joke earlier, and I missed it. Okay.
Oh, no.
No, not today.
I'm also not seeing any sort of white spell with sand in its name that does this. What's the one from, like...
I mean, I would have
Time Spiral
expected
Block?
there to have been one in Time Spiral Block.
But I can't think of its... I can
Salt
see the...
Blast.
Salt Blast. No,
Blast.
that's not it. That kills a thing.
But I think that's what you're thinking.
But is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know. Let me go look at the art. Salt Blast. Nope. Yeah, that just destroys the thing. It deals... It's got art sort of like... Well, no, it's not sort of like Sandblast, but... Never mind.
Are you thinking of Sunlands?
Sunlance! That's the one!
Oh, for 1 white. But it deals 3 damage. This deals 5.
That is totally the one. I love you, Mike. And it had the alternate border from Planar Chaos. Ha! Sick. Okay. Mystery solved. I can sleep tonight. Thank you, Mike.
You are welcome.
Okay, but back to this. I don't care about the card, but I love the name Mummy Paramount. That just makes me happy.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I didn't even read it. What's it do?
For 1 and a white, it's a 2/2 zombie that's common. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, Mummy Paramount gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yeah. It doesn't keep the pump, but it's already a bear, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mummy bear.
Well, the thing is, I think, was it late game or... There's some stuff that pumps out zombies or zombies show up here and there. So, I mean, it's something that if you're going to have some zombies, he might end up being all right, well, I'm going to attack this turn. And
You should keep pumping him with unconventional tactics.
there.
It's pretty funny.
You guys talked about Dejuru, how do you pronounce his name? Dejuru? Jeru. Is the D silent? Jeru?
I don't know.
Last week you asked if we had missed him. He actually had not been previewed as of 2 weeks ago. So you already covered him.
I like the art on Jeru's renunciation, too. He's just like, no! Bad Eternals, get off me.
I guess it's just the dad in me because I see him like break it up.
Yeah, exactly. No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Go to your room. If we want to end on some levity, I actually kind of like the art on Disposal Mummy. For 2 and a white. For 2 and a white, it's just a 2/3 zombie jackal. It's common. And when it enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. That's fine. But the flavor text is, without the viziers to oversee their actions, some anointed went to extreme lengths to fulfill their directives. And he's just like, I'm just taking out the trash. And that trash apparently is another mummy.
Yeah, one of the big problems is that the cartouches that the anointed mummies are wearing basically program them with a job. And you can see it more on the card and the flavor text of dutiful servants, but everything around them is, totally going to crap, but no one bothered to reprogram the mummies, so they're still wandering around doing their jobs.
Yeah.
While the world is ending.
Yeah. But I just like this art for some reason, because that mummy does not look like he wants to be in the fire, but he's in there anyway, so...
It's like, come on, man, didn't you hear? The God Pharaoh is a lie, and all of this is like, just get in the garbage, man. This... I got money to make. I got a wage, unliving wage, whatever. It was going to be a funny joke, but it wasn't.
And the name Disposal Mummy. It's just
it's a friendly neighborhood garbage man.
Yeah, this is the guy that's like pushing the trash trolley around with his broom. Like while the Chitauri are attacking New York, and the Avengers are like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Cleaning up this damn mess."
And on that note, I think that's pretty much the set.
Yeah, there's not really much else going on.
Pretty much.
It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I wish I could go to the pre-release, but I'm not going to be able to make it. And as I said, I think Mike summed this up pretty well last week. I mentioned that the set was not my favorite. I think at the end of the day, looking at the cards in the set, I think there's some interesting ones. I'm just not sold on the set as a whole. I think for limited it should be interesting, but I'm not like, wow, I really want packs and packs of this set. And Mike said it very well last week when I wasn't here, where he said that he found that the story for the set was more engaging than the cards themselves. And I think that's probably, I think that's a very accurate statement. For me, anyway. Someone else might be going, ooh, and everything. I don't know. I think maybe the whole change with how they're going to be doing sets from now on, starting after Ixion, of doing one set per block, basically, might be more in line with where I am and with what I want to see out of the game, because I might just be getting to that fatigue a little easier than I used to be. I'm not sure. So I'm old and crotchety. I don't know. But I do think there are a lot of interesting cards here. And some of the gods, especially the multicolored gods, feel very built around me. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead, because it's late, I'm going to go ahead and take the coveted first final thought spot away from Dirk tonight, because I wanted to say while everyone was still here that, and I mentioned a little bit of this in the odds and ends, and Chewy alluded to it earlier, but tomorrow is my 10-year wedding anniversary. And I just wanted to say that all three of these gentlemen were there with me 10 years ago watching me get married to the love of my life. And it meant a lot to me then, and it means a lot to me now. And it's funny, we weren't even doing the podcast yet, but we've always been pretty close. And I'm very thankful for the fact that I can look back at the last 10 years. And not only am I thankful for my wife and my family and what I would argue are some of the 10 best years of my life, but these guys have stuck through me. These guys have stuck with me through thick and thin, through jobs and school and changing houses and everyone's life. Mike leaving the state and coming back, and Dirk getting married. And I look back at the last 10 years, and it's been great and tough and crazy and sad and happy. And I couldn't pick a better group of guys to see it with. So here's to another 10 of marriage and of friendship.
Aw.
Whoop. Thanks.
Sappy. Yes.
Well, happy slightly early anniversary, my friend, and do Yo and Carrie for me.
I will. And then in another couple months, we'll be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of this here show. So more good times yet to come. And I'm going to say, hey, I love you guys and you're great and I'd love to spend lots of time with you. And now I'm going to leave because it's late and work and all that good stuff. So, Mike, good luck at the pre-release.
Thanks.
And let us know how it goes. And I will talk to you all later. Let me know about the 29th. 29th.
29th. Okay. And also, 29th. It's next week that Thursday doesn't work for you, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So, all right. Have a good night.
Night.
I guess it's meaning it's that I get the next spot, right?
Nope, you have to wait. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So for me, was it last week? At some point, we signed the papers for the house. So the house is ours now, and been moving. And as I was telling the guys earlier, that I am wore slap out from painting, moving, and doing all this stuff, and we still haven't moved all the big stuff yet. We've been slowly emptying out the storage shed, which had our extra stuff that would not fit in the grandparents' house, and is being slowly moved into the new house. And at some point, once I guess bookcases and stuff get moved and all the big stuff gets moved, we're going to go through the bins of random stuff that was out in the storage shed, and we're going to have to unload that next.
It's almost like people buy houses so that they don't have to move anymore.
Yeah. You buy houses, a bigger house, so that you have space to put new crap, so you don't have to worry about having to get rid of the old crap. But no, at some point we need to go through, and we're going to go through and take all the stuff that is now obsolete and just get rid of it. So the good thing about moving to High Point is that there are Goodwills, there are Salvation Armies, there are places we can go and say, I don't want this anymore. Let's just give it to them. Someone might be able to find some use for it. So, but that's the status in the Trimble household is we are slowly moving stuff over. I'm exhausted because it's a 2-ish hour drive one way. So when you're taking totes of stuff, and then you drive back the next day, and then you paint and install stuff and all. Just by the time you get to the house, I've suffered a bit from highway hypnosis, and you're just driving, and it's just like, and then something will happen. I'll jerk awake, or like I haven't fallen asleep, but when my hand starts to come down on the steering wheel, I'll realize I'm losing my grip, and so I'll jerk myself back awake, to more alert level of consciousness. And that's just like, moving is not fun.
You didn't fall asleep, but you definitely weren't all there.
Yeah, if an emergency had happened, I would have been a little less prepared and everything. So
I have found when that happens to me, I have to call someone and talk to them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that whenever we're driving, and if Chelsea's beside of me, like, honey, you have to talk to me. You got to do something to keep me awake.
Or drive.
I'm the better driver of the two of us. Well, I'll say I'm definitely the driver who is the one who's less likely to get speeding tickets.
Okay.
I'm the one who drives all the time, and so. There are definitely times whenever I really am just tired of driving, and this week has definitely been one of those weeks of, if it weren't for the fact that stuff has to get done, I would just go, no, I'm good. I'll just stay here today, which is actually what's happening tomorrow. It's because because Leighton and Penny are going to daycare. There's no reason for me to drop them off at daycare, drive to the new house, to go back to the farm, to pick up the kids, to drive back to the new house, because we're staying the weekend at the new house.
Makes sense.
So there's absolutely no reason to do that. So all I'm doing is I'll load up the car, load up the van, chill at the farm, and maybe catch up on a little bit of sleep, maybe play a little free version of WoW for a little bit, or I really don't want to use the year version yet, because I feel like that I'm going to be so busy unloading everything. I'm really not going to be able to use the time wisely. So, and then hopefully hearing back from one of my job prospects, hopefully tomorrow. I really hope I get the job, Because Chelsea said that she'll know that I got the job if season 9 of Big Bang Theory is laying on the bed. Because she said that's I'm not allowed to buy it unless I get a job teaching. So, and for me, I'm gonna buy I'm gonna do the pre-order for StarCraft. That'll be my present to myself. Yeah, the remastered version.
Nice.
That'll be my present to myself of, yay, got a job.
Sick. So, hey, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to a podcast called Kane and Rince for the last however many months.
Uh-huh.
And they essentially pick a game and go deep on it every episode. It's just one game.
Mm-hmm.
And they did one a while back that was StarCraft II Wings of Liberty, because at that point, Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void hadn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've played these games, so like the single-player campaign in StarCraft II is just awesome, right?
Yes.
Okay. I've never played StarCraft 1. Did that have a single-player campaign that was anything remotely as interesting?
Very much.
Oh, okay. So, if I was looking to do a StarCraft thing, you think I should start with 1?
Yes.
Gotcha.
The downside, well, both of them are very, like, the early part is kind of the whenever they're broken into chapters, and so you never played any of the like Warcraft 3 or anything like that, right?
No, the only RTS game I've ever played was Halo Wars, which is apparently StarCraft console version.
Yeah. They're broken into 3 chapters. So you've got the Terran, the Zerg, and then the Protoss chapters. And so the first probably 3 missions in all 3 of them, for all 3 chapters, are, here's the basic unit, here's the basic structures, here, do this simple thing, make 10 Marines, okay, go kill the little Zerg guys. Like, there's like 6 of them on the map somewhere, and you have to go find them. It's really a hassle the first couple, but by the time you get halfway through the chapter for each one of the races, then it actually gets real interesting, and the story kicks in, and you're going, oh my gosh, something bad things are about to happen, and it's the story is really well crafted.
Nice.
So it's I haven't heard anything about the cinematics. I assume they're not touching the cinematics, but there's 10 missions in each chapter. So with the very first one, you get 30 missions. And when they did Brood Wars, which for this, you're getting 2 for the price of 1 because Brood Wars comes with it.
Right.
You get 10 more. I think it's 10 more missions with all 3. So you get 30 more missions, 30 more. Yeah.
Wow.
And just both are awesome. Like StarCraft, they put a lot of time and effort and love into it, and the story is really good.
Okay. Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Brian still gives me grief that I went on the normal version and difficulty-wise and didn't go hard. And that's because I actually wanted to play the game for the story and not for the difficulty. Some of the missions are real hard.
I mean, I played Halo Wars the first time on normal, and then later I went back and crushed it on, whatever the, I guess, legendary would be, since it's a Halo game. But I went back and crushed it on all the other difficulties and was like, but first you gotta start with normal, right? Like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before you wandered away for the night, I wanted to ask you about that. So, thank you, sir. I will look into that at some point in the future.
I think, and yeah, the whole remastered one is, I think it's going to be $15. So. Yeah,
which is really cheap for like a remaster of an entire game and its expansion.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's if you ever get interested in the RTS, like StarCraft 2 and its expansions, the first one is probably a good place to start, just so you get a little bit of the story. And so when there's a lot of you get dropped into characters and you're like, who is this person? Why do I care? And what's going on and all that. It's a little bit easier to get to start off with the first game.
Yeah.
If nothing else than the story, but it also has a little bit of the very basic. Here's this mission. Okay, this structure does this. This does this. But you can tell that when you played the first one, that if you do get to play the second StarCraft game, the second iteration and all that, or StarCraft 2 and its chapters and everything, you understand why certain buildings have new abilities to them because, for instance, the Terran bunker. The Terran bunker serves absolutely no purpose other than to increase cap the number of creatures or number of characters you can have, your population,
mm-hmm.
and they serve absolutely no function past that. In StarCraft 2, they took those bunkers and they made them so that they can slide into the ground. So what happened is, I guess when people were doing the multiplayer, they would set the bunkers up at choke points, and they would actually use them as walls. And so when the second StarCraft game came out, they said, well, people are going to still use them as walls. Well, let's at least make them so that they can slide down into the ground. So that way they can be used as gateways in addition as walls. So there's little things like that.
I think I remember people using houses as walls in Warcraft also.
Because you have to have them, but they serve absolutely no function aside from that. So yeah, people would just go, well, I don't want them coming in this way. I'm just going to set all these buildings up in the path so that they can't get into them. But yeah, that's on StarCraft 2, whenever I have to play the Protoss, I would line the pylons right up in front of a choke point and then stick all the guns behind it. So as they're trying to eat their way through the pylons, which have shields and which recharge over time, they're just trying to eat their way through the pylons, and my little blasters are going pew, 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 blowing them up all the way as they're trying to get in. But yeah, like I said, there's little things like that they have absolutely no function, and then if you play the second one, you go, oh, I understand what they did there. So, all right, well, gentlemen, I'm off for the night.
Word. Well, thank you for that, Zerk.
No problem. Good night, guys.
Night, you. I love it when Zerk gets all into something.
Mm-hmm.
Word. Well, since you showed up last, you don't get to final thought? No. What's up
fair.
with you? What's up with you, sir?
Not much. Even though the choir at my church is on break for the summer, we had a special practice yesterday evening for a special service that was going on earlier this evening. So that's why I joined late. And I just wanted to be able to participate in that because I enjoy it. So that's fine. Looking forward to the pre-release, even though it'll just be me.
Well, there'll be other people there. You'll be fine.
Okay, yes, that's true. That's true. So thanks for that. Beyond that, I'm also looking forward to us getting together later on this month. I'm pretty sure I'm good for that day that Brian brought up.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I have the let's see. So there's a bunch of stuff that we could get into all together. We never played the Shadows of Innistrad expansion for Arena of the Planeswalkers.
Right.
We never played Dragon Draft. We haven't played the 2-color commander decks from a couple years ago.
All right.
I have the Archenemy Nicol Bolas box set. And I need to sleeve it up because little fold-out deck boxes that come in and are big enough to hold a sleeved deck. So I also got some sleeves for them. I need to sleeve those up.
Cool.
So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we could do.
Neat. And hopefully we'll be able to do that more often when Sturk is, much closer.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Gosh, it's been a very long time since the last time we were able to, hasn't it?
I have no concept of the passage of time.
Yeah.
So sure. Yeah, let's go with that. So then, what else you got? You got anything else?
Oh, there's going to be a solar eclipse that runs across a huge swath of North America, like it hasn't done in like 90 years.
Yep. Bill
That's
and
coming
I
up.
are driving our asses down to South Carolina to get a total view of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ashley sent me a message that some people at work were talking about going down to Greenville to see it. But like the exact middle of the track, the exact middle of the path of the eclipse passes over Andrews, North Carolina, the little town where my mom and all her brothers and sisters grew up. So there's a bunch of us that are going to go up there and get together for it.
Cool. Yeah, that's next month, right? It's in August.
Yeah, in August. Mm-hmm.
I rely on Bill to remind me of this sort of thing, but yeah, we're gonna. Clues said that some of his associates are gonna be around there too because he's an astronomer, so we're gonna try to actually bump into Clues while we're there.
Cool.
So yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's the only reason to go to South Carolina.
Yeah, I was reading an article online. No, it wasn't online. It was something that Mom showed me in one of the various magazines she gets. And like the people in charge of the Cherokee County emergency services were saying, yeah, there's going to be a ton of people up here, and we really hope we're going to have enough volunteers and help from other areas just to try to keep things in the county running while all of those people are hanging around for the eclipse. Like I think one of the quotes was, if every resident of Cherokee County stood up and volunteered, I don't know if we would have enough people to
Damn.
So hopefully things will go smoothly.
Trying to find... here we go. That does not zoom in far enough. Thanks, website. Here's a map that zoomed in a little more. Bingo. Oh, it does go right through Anderson. Wow.
Andrews.
Oh, it goes right through Anderson. Oh, that's in South Carolina. Where the hell is Andrews? Doesn't matter.
It's over there near the point. It's over there near the pointy end.
Oh, okay. See, I think we were going to go somewhere. It was like Greenville and, was it Columbia, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Some other of those towns that I periodically, have to go through for driving. We were going to pick a point somewhere on that and just go and watch it.
Right.
Yay. Ridiculous celestial events are sweet. Okay, then. So, does that leave me? I guess it leaves me.
That's you.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you do that thing where you can't talk anymore? But no, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
So, apology. I know last week, I think I mentioned that I would have the Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 1 videos up soon, but I hit a snag, I don't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning of the show or if that was in the odds and ends, so I apologize, but I had an automated copyright claim put on it when the YouTube content ID processing thing happened. And it's completely bogus. It's a German YouTube MCN, a multi-channel network, apparently thinks it has the rights to either like 2.5 minutes, something like that, of my footage of Telltale Games The Walking Dead, which they don't, or of me talking, which they don't. So it's clearly a bogus claim. When I Googled these people, all I found were complaints going back at least 3 years of people complaining that they had a illegitimate copyright claim against them.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I found their Twitter account, and the only tweet is a response to one of these people that says, it's not our fault, contact the holder of the copyright or dispute it. And also their YouTube channel. In the discussion section, yep, that's all that I saw there, was people complaining about illegitimate copyright claims. So hopefully that'll get cleared up. But until it is, I'm not going to release it. Because the way copyright claims work is someone can go, and again, this was automated, so it's not like they're targeting me because it's not even public, it's unlisted. But someone can go, that's mine, and I'm just gonna, you can still have it, but I'm gonna take the monetization for it. And that's how, YouTubers make their money. Now, my YouTube channel still doesn't pay all that much. a single video won't get me enough dollars for it to make a difference. But they're not going to get those few cents just on principle. 'Cause
Hell no.
like, let's be generous and say that it'll get, like, that video will get me like $1. Okay? If they have these automated copyright claims against like 50 people, that means they're going to get $50 just for doing nothing. And that's crap. And it's also not like YouTube holds that money, and then if the dispute is successful and the claim gets overturned, then I get the money back. No, they just keep it.
No.
So you guys don't get to see it. And it was the first episode, of course. So I'm going to not release it, which means I can't release episodes 2 and 3. So I apologize for that, but I have my principles and there's nothing that can be done about it until... Now, I disputed it, and they have 30 days to respond to my dispute. If they don't, I'm pretty sure the claim goes away. And something tells me they're not gonna, which means my content is just locked down for 30 days. And ain't that about a bitch.
Gosh, I mean, maybe I can understand why you're given 30 whole days to respond to a copyright claim, but that's a long time.
Yeah. So there's been this mad dash late last night and today of, oh God, because the whole point of these was to have content to go out while I'm out of town, not going to the pre-release. Like, if I'm working, like driving, and I don't get content out, well, that's okay. But if I'm, doing a family trip to Busch Gardens, that bothers me that I don't have content going out. So I'm trying desperately to get stuff. I've already got the Tavern Brawl recorded. That'll be put up probably tomorrow. So, yeah, it sucks. And there's nothing I can do about it but wait. And it also sucks that in the dispute options, there's not a button for this is not a legitimate claim. So I had to go fair use for my dispute and put in the anything else field, yeah, there's no way that these people have a legitimate claim to this, so this shouldn't go through anyway. Comma, damn it. I didn't add that part, but I thought it real hard. So yeah, it's a problem. And yeah, that means there might be a lack of content, but by the time anyone's hearing this, I've already figured that out or haven't, so whatever. Or by the time everyone's hearing this. So that's a problem. But not an insurmountable one, because it can't go through because they don't have a copyright for it, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm afraid if I like delete the video and I re-up, that it'll just hit me again because it was automated, so it would totally hit me again. So I just have to sit on it and wait. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and render and upload the other two, just in case something similar happens. So yay, what a wonderful world we live in. I think I said this in the odds and ends too. I really wish that YouTube used an actual DMCA takedown thing, like the actual, legal thing, because then filing a false claim is perjury, and there would be consequences.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just a YouTube thing, so there are no consequences. You can just do it. Like I said, the fact that it's automated, I don't know how that works. It's clearly a mistake, but
there's just there's a bot that just sits there and basically watches the video, and what it sees is run up against this huge database of possible stuff to match it to.
Yeah, but the fact that it's The Walking Dead with me talking and the screen is The Walking Dead with me in the corner, and it's like 2.5 minutes. How any of that could match to anything that these people have a copyright claim on is just insane.
I don't know.
It's not like it's a scene where there's just music. Nope, there's dialogue and me talking, and all right, whatever. So yeah, that'll all get sorted out eventually. So I'll go figure something else out. But anyway, that's the bad news. The good news is things and also stuff. I've streamed a couple times here lately, and I've had a lot of fun. On July 4th, which was 2 days ago. It's Independence Day here in America. I streamed Broforce because America. Cleared out all of my unlocks and hopped on it and I played for, 3.5 hours. It was ridiculous. I never did unlock all of the bros. Like, I have at least one or two more. I have no idea how many there are in the game, but so Broforce, if you don't know, it's just pure concentrated, undiluted America. And all of your bros are caricatures of, like, famous action heroes. Like you start with Rambro, and when you find a bro in a cage and save them, like the first one you unlock, I think, is Bromando, which is, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando. And then later you'll get Brohard, which is Bruce Willis from Die Hard. And then you get, like, the Bro in Black, which is Agent J from Men in Black. And you get B.A. Brorakis, which is Mr. T from the A-Team. And even all the way up to, like, Ellen Ripbro, which is Ellen Ripley from Aliens. And she has a Zoopy gun, according to Stark. I was like, what the hell is this gun? And I look over the chat. He's like, she has a Zoopy gun. I'm like, oh, I guess because of the sound effect. I don't know what he meant, but it was awesome. And yeah, like Broguyver. Broguyver is my favorite. Like, each one has a regular attack, a melee attack, and then, like, some sort of special limited ammo thing. So, like, Broguyver's regular attack is he throws, like, this bundle of dynamite that if it hits an enemy will actually stick to them for a second before it explodes. And it's great to drop one from way up high onto a bruiser, because he'll go, ah! And run off in a direction and then explode, and it's brilliant. And his, like, special limited ammo attack, he throws a turkey that's got a bunch of ammo in it, like a cooked turkey, and everybody, all the enemies are like, and, like, walk towards it. Like, oh, look at this turkey. This turkey's amazing. And it's just so funny, and it's so blatantly, stupidly over the top, you know, jingoistic. Merca! Like, I was doing story mode, and the general is giving you, like, a brief for each place you go. And in, like, the third one, it's like, these people look, think, and act differently from us. Let's blow them up! And it's just like, damn. Merca. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. I streamed some pinball, too, that night, and the previous time I streamed. I picked up Pinball FX2 and a couple of tables, and decided I'll play some pinball, because I love pinball, and these are branded tables. They're like Marvel and Star Wars and other video games. There's a Walking Dead table and a Portal table, stuff like that. And there's a Skyrim table that, a couple of people while I was playing decided to gift me more tables. So, like, Will threw the Bethesda table at me, which is a Fallout table, a Doom, like the new one, Doom table, and a Skyrim table. And the Skyrim table is just Skyrim in pinball form. Dude, it's insane. Like, you pick up gear and equip it to your dude. You go on quests. You find an inn. You fight dragons. Like, I made a mage and equipped him with a fire spell. And it's so crazy. It's really hard to explain, but, like, you do... Now, in any good pinball table, you do missions. But, like, in this one, enemies will pop up and you have to hit them and hit other targets to do damage to them. And then you level up. And, hey, now your melee attacks do more damage or whatever. You know, it's like, oh my god, this is crazy. And it saves your progress. That's the best part. So I finally got the first story mission done. And when I died, it saved it. So when I went to restart, it's like, do you want to continue your story? Yeah, I do. And actually, cool. Yeah, it's crazy. And I apparently inspired a couple people to actually play Skyrim by playing the Skyrim pinball table, which makes me so happy. But yeah, so I think that'll become a normal thing that I end up streaming, is stream a little bit of pinball. Just whenever I'm streaming something else, I'll stop and go play some pinball. Because oddly enough, people really seem to enjoy it and get into it. And yeah, there's a lot more to pinball. For those of you that don't know, there's a lot more to pinball than just hit the ball. Like, you have to hit the ball well and aim well and go to these places and do these missions. And if you hit this ramp 3 more times, then you'll be able to do this mission. And then when that mission pops, you have to hit this, and in that order, and da-da-da-da-da. And it sounds kind of boring, but it's really awesome.
Yeah, watching someone play pinball well is actually really entertaining.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen if you come watch me, but...
Okay, you play well. You definitely play well compared to what I would do.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm not good at it, but I know what I'm doing, if that makes sense. And I'm enthusiastic. Like, it's a good thing that I don't actually play pinball in person terribly often, because like, no, damn it! They'd probably throw me out. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's been going on the stream lately, is pinball and Broforce. And so that's pretty cool. And The Walking Dead, but, you know, probably going to put a hold on that until I can get the first episode. Well, okay, so in the game it's an episode, and I have 3 videos for that episode. It's there. Until I can get the videos for the first episode up, I'm probably not going to stream the second episode. Does that make sense? Okay. There we go.
Now it does.
Anyway. And also, we've got the ability to get subscribers on Twitch now, and I got a bunch of those, and that's amazing. I didn't think anybody would bother. And so that's cool. Subscribing is a thing you can do with either money or with your Amazon Prime. You get 1 free sub every month with Amazon Prime. So people have been throwing those at me and actually subscribing for the $5 a month, which that's awesome. It's like I think it's a 50-50 split between Twitch and the streamer for us basic people. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate all that. You get an emote. I ran a poll on Twitter, which of these Chewy faces should be the very first emote, and the one that won was the Chewy with the raised eyebrow. So yeah, you guys know the cartoon Chewy faces I use and everything, yeah. So yeah, that's so cool. And it makes me want to stream more because now people are giving money to the streaming part, so now I need to do some streaming. But anyway, right. So that's at twitch.tv/themanapool, which is where you can find us anywhere that we are. On Twitter, it's at the Manapool, facebook.com/themanapool. Themanapool.com is the website where you can find the archive of the podcast. YouTube.com/themanapool is where you find all that stuff. Just so much of the Manapool. I feel like I'm missing something. Patreon, right. If you want to help support what I do with all of the Twitch streaming and YouTube videos and podcasts every week, then you can go to patreon.com/themanapool. And every little bit helps, and I really do appreciate it. You can get YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early. You can get that and the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool, which is uncensored and unfiltered and generally just us being goobers. Or talking about really deep things, or complaining about the games we play, or talking about comic book movies. I'm sure once I see Spider-Man Home...
about the comic book games we play.
Also that, yeah. I'm pretty sure that once I see Spider-Man Homecoming, there will be an entire post-show Monday Night Magic about just Spider-Man Homecoming, because Bill saw it tonight. Yeah. So, yeah, I look forward to that. And if you are so inclined, you can get both of those and get your name on the end slate for every video that goes up in each month that you support at that tier. I've just redone the end screen again to make it less crowded. And yeah, of course, the first of those videos that went up was The Walking Dead, so you don't get to see it. But I'm working on it. So yeah. And of course, you can email us. That email address is dorks@themanapool.com. Yay. And I guess that's everything. Yeah, I think, or at least that's everything enough. So, we'll be done. So this has been the Manapool, episode 470. Woo!
Wow.
Right? And thank you all so very much for listening. And go play some Magic. Or pinball. Wouldn't it be great if they made a Magic pinball table on Pinball FX2?
That would be pretty sweet.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Maybe that's one of the Magic Digital next things. I mean, they've already got Minecraft Skin Pack and an MMO in the works. Just make a pinball table. It'll be amazing. I'll buy it. I'll buy it at full price, which I don't ever do. Ever. I'll buy it at a full price. Anyway, right. Ending the episode now. Good night, everybody.
I can